Knight decisive, ball secure. He's right here, single back. This is one of those plays where you hear about his decisiveness, and they're just running duo, and as he takes the handoff, he's reading the linebacker, sees the linebacker fills this hole in the middle, or that B gap, fills the B gap. Then his eyes turn to outside. He sees 55 crashing to the inside with inside leverage. At this point, you have to be decisive, right? This is the point of, okay, either attack the inside and try to work off the block to the inside with whoever this is climbing. I think it's Max Mitchell climbing, or bounce this run to the outside and trust that Corey Davis is going to keep outside leverage. But either way, you have to be decisive here. And Knight runs it into the back of the block and then cuts to the outside, lowers his shoulder. Good ball security in terms of coming into contact with two hands on the ball, driving forward. And we see the effort here to stay up and the lower body power from Knight to keep driving. This is one of those plays where you hear about, okay, and I question some of his decisiveness at times where you want to see him decide what he's doing here as he starts to put on the brakes there and drop his weight. Cut inside, cut outside, but we don't want to run into the back of blockers, you know. And even if he did want to hesitate a little bit here, then you have to have better foot. You have to have better footwork, and you can't have this whole see that whole hop right there, that like 2 yard hop. Even if you wanted to let the block string out a little bit more, make guys kind of solidify their leverage. Okay, that's fine, but you need to have better spatial awareness than at that point and not run into the back. Okay, so not necessarily the best play to start, and that was just something that I think we watched about him in college, and we said so. There's some indecisiveness. I don't know if I actually did a review on Zonovan Knight or if I just watched like 2 or 3 games just to get a feel for the player overall. Knight contact balance, tough run. Okay, single back again. Again, sorry for the allergies. I don't know what it's been like the last couple of weeks. Of course, recording all these shows, the allergies have been crazy. So I'm sorry for that. Even though I'm not, but I am. You get what I'm saying. So we have was that mid to outside. Yeah, I'm actually much more mid to inside than outside zone here. This is where we're seeing some of his contact balance and how tough he runs here. So as he takes the handoff, he's gonna read the outside. Outside's getting kicked out, and actually could be could be no, I think he peeks outside first. Outside first. Then his eyes are gonna go to the inside. His eyes go to the inside. He sees Mike Pennell creating some, penetration, and it's not an easy spot for McGovern there to reach him and get that positional leverage to the play side without giving up some vertical ground right here. And Pennell tries to push up past it, undercut the block, and make the tackle. Knight notices that, flattens it out just a few steps to avoid the hand. He's kicked out, or he's at least heavy outside, or not heavy outside leverage, but he's heavily to the outside, inside versus outside. Takes it vertical. Arm tackle, or the backside defensive end or defensive lineman comes free, runs through that. 2 hands on the ball. Multiple more hands that he drives through. Drive, stay up, spin, drive. So we like the contact balance here. The vision's pretty good. The flattening out of his track to avoid Pennell's good. Ball security is good. And then again, just the consistent drive of trying to get more yards. We also like from Zonovan Knight on that one. Knight thump at end. Okay. Single back again. Let's see. Toss. Right. So this one's not even about the run or any of the vision or anything like that, because he follows his blocks or his blocks. It's all pretty standard. The offensive line actually does a pretty good job here. So the tight ends are passing off blocks and everything right there. So that's a good job by the tight ends. Also a good job by Corey Davis on the outside there. Now, in terms of cutting it to the outside, listen, like when he decides to cut this to the inside, he could have been a little bit outside leverage. Now, could he press up a little bit to the inside here and maybe cut it to the outside? I can understand that argument, but we're not gonna take that avenue right now. I think ideally he probably does press up a little bit towards us and try to cut to the outside instead of running into some defenders. But with that being said, we do like the fact that instead of just going down, he clearly sees the guy from the inside, braces for the hit by exploding into it. He's not going to let the defender deliver the first contact. Zonovan Knight drops the base, instep of the left foot, explodes through him, trucks him over, picks up another yard or two. But guys will think about this when they're in pursuit and they're trying to tackle him and they just got rocked, probably lost his breath a little bit right there. That's something that people will think about. It's something that people respect, It's like, oh, okay, it's like, shit, we got to play that running back who wants to deliver the thump every single time he's tackled. It's a nice trait to have. Nice press to set. Okay. And obviously I watched his 7 games. He started, he played in week, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah. Those 8 weeks or those 7 games. Sorry. So let's hear it here. Week inside mid zone, inside zone. We like this one. This is one where we see him actually press a gap to set it up. So now this read can go either way with inside zone. The aiming points like outside hip of the guard. So with nobody being in the 3 tech, just depending on Benton and if he wants him to read outside inside here first. It looks like he reads outside first. Reads outside, sees him getting moved. Continues on his track. Now I'm sure he sees this gap open, right? Because he's going to read the outside. Okay, he's getting moved. I'm going to work up the field a little bit. He has to see this gap, but he doesn't want to just get into that gap immediately. Why? Because there's guys who are obviously in pursuit. Everybody's in pursuit, but these guys have eyes there. And if he shoots that gap, or if he shoots to that gap right away and flattens out to get there, these guys work hard to get over the top. He probably pushes McGovern or uncovers to the outside. So instead of just getting there immediately, is patient with his feet. Again, smaller steps, presses the inside as he comes into that contact window. Flatten, open up the hips with that outside foot, turn that foot outside, let himself get over top of it. Gets to the outside. Now he sees Tomlinson versus this defender. Sees him getting widened. Obviously torquing him to the outside. Knight, plant, get vertical inside of that block, lower his shoulder, looks like he gets 2 hands in the ball, deliver some thump at the end, drive his feet for another yard or two, right? So, and we can see like he's not necessarily the most like quick guy. I think he has solid acceleration. I think he has decent top end speed, and he's more like smooth than quick. Like he's not really explosive in terms of his cuts, but he gets into his breaks like smoothly. And you see some of that right there for Knight effort. All right. So single back again, a lot of single back runs in this for Knight in this game. So really, again, there are some plays where I just wanted to show thump. There are some plays where I'm not necessarily even talking about the running or anything like that. Even though duo here, and with that being said, Knight presses the inside. That's his track, right? And the read is pretty simple. He's not cutting here. 2 guys to the outside. He's taking this inside, right? Pretty simple. But when he goes to take it to the inside, one, he lowers a little bit for contact there, but at a certain point he notices, I think that's McGovern on his face on the ground, so he's not going to be able to just get through that gap. Actually, I don't think that's McGovern. Maybe that's not McGovern. That's Max Mitchell. Is it Max? No, sorry, that's Herbig. So Herbig gets tossed. You have Knight who realizes that Herbig's on the ground. He's not going to be able to get through that, so he lowers his shoulder, but at the same time as lowering his shoulder, he has to jump over Herbig. Jumps over Herbig, notices another guy. You can see him lower himself into that one as well, kind of turn away from it, secure the ball, drive forward for an extra 2 yards, 3 yards right there. But good effort, right? Good effort, good awareness of keeping his feet clean right there, having to lower his shoulder as he's jumping to then land, lower his shoulder again. Good ball security, good drive forward. It's a good play. And he only got a yard or 2 or 3, but it's still a good play overall by Zonovan Knight. Knight run into tackle. Okay. Another inside mid zone here. And this is something where you want to see him have bit like a little bit better, I guess, like spatial awareness slash like peripheral vision right here, because comes off the ball again, is going to read outside first. Outside getting kicked out. His eyes are going to transition to the inside now. He's in a press up towards the inside. But at a certain point in this run, he has to realize not it's not always, and most of it is like leverage to the outside, to the inside, heads up. That's the most like primary type of read. But you also have to read how far guys got pushed into the backfield, right? Because even if he's like in, let's say let's say he wanted to bounce this run, right? But let's say this block was a little bit wider and it took place where my cursor is. So just to like really hammer home the point, if he had the leverage he wanted, but let's say he there where my cursor is right now, he's not going to be able to bend that run all the way to the outside, even with good leverage. So you have to read leverages at a certain point. And yes, initially it's inside versus outside, but creates a new line of scrimmage, right? He's 2 or 3 yards back, so he has to cut inside of this, and he has to recognize that. He has to cut inside of that very early. He bends it out. Not that he doesn't plant to go inside, but he just drifts into that tackle. He's got to notice how far he pushed back here and start to read that a little bit more and just check if he can free himself. If check if the defensive line can free himself, and he runs right into the tackle. And it's a thing, and this to me, this is about vision, because if he were to see that uncover, he probably lowers his shoulder and potentially runs through an arm tackle. I don't think he ever really like truly notices that he's uncovering there, gets tackled. So we want to see him at this point plant, explode to the inside away from that. Got to get away from that contact. Knight TD, light legs. Okay. I was in the backfield. Gun set. Now the pin and fold. His contact balance is pretty good. So pin and fold, pin, fold, kick out, zone on the backside, follow his blocks, obviously, right? Inside versus outside, cut vertical. As he cuts vertical, he's obviously feels this defender, peripheral vision, pulls himself. He's got just an extra large step. It's just a slight one. Get through that contact. And now here, it's with Hamlin, like Hamlin is to the, so you could argue take it to the inside here. He's not sure who's backside in pursuit. He's not sure safeties, linebackers might have came over the top. So he kind of has like a two-way go with more favor to the inside versus Hamlin 1-for-1. But he wants to get to the sideline. Okay, I'm not going to say I love that decision. Instead of maybe checking to the inside, peeking to the inside, and seeing it's a little bit more. There's some green grass here as well, but it's okay. Sees Hamlin squared up, believes he can break the tackle, take it outside. Okay. If you have faith in yourself being able to break the tackle regardless, then Hamlin doesn't count. So flattens it out. As he goes across his plane, stiff arm. Now, yeah, you could stiff arm the chest, but and I don't want to get into like a whole angles thing here, but the angles aren't always like if he's kind of tighter to you right here, and you don't think you have a good angle to really land your actual like flat of your hand on him, then it might not be so effective. And if you're just trying to work past his plane and he's flattened out, then the only thing that's really going to stop you here is his arm. So if you get your hand onto the bicep or onto the shoulder there, obviously it's going to push his arm back. It's going to slightly open his hips to the outside, allowing him to pass through. So hand onto the bicep, onto the elbow, push that arm just a little bit, push it down, which allows him to work through that contact, let him carry him through. Feet get tangled up a little bit. The right foot gets tangled up. Good contact balance, maintain or just staying up right there. Another tackle comes through. Tries to pull himself through there. Near leg, pulls himself through, touchdown. Again, good run here for Knight.